なんと
Merchandise will raise the profile of the area, so it will produce a favorable cycle of local economy.
Now today's watch, a man has been given a 22-year prison term for what the court called an inconceivably reckless and dangerous way to drive. Defendant Masahide Kaizu is a 32-year-old unemployed resident of Sapporo's Nishi ward. The incident occurred in Otaru City last July. Kaizu had been driving under the influence and hit 4 women returning from the beach. 3 died. The 4th was seriously injured. Kaizu was charged with dangerous driving resulting in death and injury, as well as multiple counts of hit and run. At the Sapporo District Court today, presiding judge Koji Saiki said Kaizu had been drinking non-stop for hours before taking the wheel and was driving while looking down at his smartphone for about 15 seconds. The court said this amounted to dangerous driving. The judge also said Kaizu fled the scene without stopping to check on the victims. He said these were grave and unprecedented actions. Kaizu was sentenced to 22 years in prison as demanded by the prosecution. A bereaved family member says she hopes no one else ever has to experience the sadness and agony they went through. The Greek government is expected to submit a structural reform plan to its Eurozone partners by Thursday's deadline. Government ministers are believed to be finalizing a proposal that includes tax and pension reforms. On Wednesday, the country asked for a 3-year loan from the Eurozone's Rescue Fund, the European Stability Mechanism. To receive it, Greece needs to submit a reform plan by the deadline. The Greek government says Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras has been in conference with his economic ministers since this morning. NHK's Junko Noda provides her insights. She says the key point is whether Greece will be able to comply with the EU's demands. The Greek public voted no to austerity measures in Sunday's referendum, but EU nations aren't making any concessions on the terms for a new bailout. Creditors are demanding comprehensive reforms of Greece's tax and pension systems. The referendum result has prompted officials to take a more hardline stance. This is likely to make it more difficult to form a consensus within the government. The key question is how much the country will concede to the creditors' demands. A 14-year-old girl has been arrested for assaulting a classmate. This comes after scenes of bullying were uploaded on the messaging app Line in May. Videos show a 13-year-old male student from a junior high school in Ehime Prefecture. His classmates forced him to kneel and began kicking him in the legs. The school interviewed students and determined it was a case of bullying after 5 students admitted to uploading the video. The school then notified the police. On Wednesday, they arrested a 14-year-old female student for inflicting violence on the boy. The girl has reportedly admitted to the charge. U.S. authorities have indicted 3 former executives of investment firm MRI International over their alleged involvement in a Ponzi scheme. Former President Edwin Fujinaga and 2 others are suspected of deliberately misinforming investors in Japan to collect funds. They allegedly used money received from new enrollees to pay off earlier investors. They lost at least 180 billion yen. One victim says he wants the authorities to quickly get to the bottom of the crimes. He says he wants to see the money returned.
The Liberal Democratic Party's Upper House caucus has decided on an electoral reform plan to narrow the disparity in the value of votes between districts. The plan calls for reallocating 10 seats nationwide. In an unusual move, 2 prefectures would be merged into one district in 2 parts of the country. The LDP plans to seek the understanding of its coalition partner Komeito, which has drafted a different plan. An Upper House election is set to take place in the summer of next year. The Supreme Court has ruled that the Chamber's past 2 elections were both held in a state of unconstitutionality due to large gaps in the value of a vote. The ruling has prompted parties to draw up reform plans to correct the disparity. Komeito has compiled a plan that would merge 20 prefectures into 10 electoral districts. The main opposition Democratic Party supports this plan. The LDP is the largest faction in the Upper House. The party wanted to retain the 1 prefecture, 1 district rule, but found it difficult to gain other parties' support. So the LDP studied another proposal made jointly by 4 opposition Diet groups that would limit district mergers to 2. Today, LDP leaders proposed this plan to the party's Upper House members. Some voiced opposition, but in the end, the lawmakers entrusted the matter to caucus chief Keisei Zote. Let's take a closer look at the plan. First, electoral districts would be merged in sparsely populated Tottori and Shimane and Tokushima and Kochi. They would collectively lose 4 seats. Seats would also be reduced from 4 to 2 each in the 3 prefectures of Niigata, Miyagi, and Nagano. That means 6 more reductions. In all, 10 seats are to be reduced nationwide. On the other hand, 2 seats would each be added to the 5 prefectures of Tokyo, Hokkaido, Hyogo, Aichi, and Fukuoka. That's an increase of 10. Overall, 10 seats would be taken away from some prefecture and to others. As a result, the maximum vote disparity between districts is estimated to drop below 3 to 1. Based on the results of the 2010 census, the figure will fall to 2.974. The plan is set to win adoption. Here are some reactions from lawmakers who will be affected by the district mergers. Kojiro Takano from Kochi says he's angry with the way party leaders ignored his objections and made a unilateral decision. Yusuke Nakanishi from Tokushima says the plan will hurt regional communities at a time when they need to be revitalized. Shoji Maitachi from Tottori says he will oppose it until the very end. The LDP's Deputy Upper House Caucus Chief was asked whether the party would require its members to toe the line and vote as a bloc in the Diet. Mitsuhide Waki says the caucus chief said today he'd like to put such a requirement in place. Earlier tonight, LDP officials met representatives of the 4 opposition groups to inform them that the LDP has decided to adopt their plan. The officials confirmed they will cooperate. The 5 groups plan to enlist support from other parties. They will submit a bill to the ongoing Diet session to revise the public offices election law and seek its enactment. LDP officials plan to carefully ask Komeito to show its understanding. They do not want the issue to become a thorn in the side of the governing coalition. LDP caucus chief Kensei Mizote says the coalition partners should get along well. Komeito's Upper House chief Yuichiro Ozumi says the issue is unlikely to affect the coalition, but he says he wants the LDP to think about why the Supreme Court has issued 2 successive rulings. He says the LDP's plan remains firm.